Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Nelson, you're watching Nature Nell, and if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Welcome. If this is your first time and you like the content, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss all the great stuff that's coming out this season, like today's episode, which is my haul from Krull-Smith. I'm calling it the hauls of all hauls. Now, with that said, I have to sadly say that as I was putting all my plants up here, I realized I left five orchids, smaller orchids, over at Krull-Smith, but I will put insets at the very end and show you the children I left behind. so hopefully, I don't know why my AI keeps shifting. I've noticed that several times. I'm sorry, guys. So I want to show you this haul. But before I start the haul, I want to thank the staff of Krull-Smith and Mr. Frank Smith himself, because they were so hospitable and so generous and so much fun to hang out with for these 2 days. This is the second time I visited Krull-Smith at an opening, and I have to tell you, it never disappoints. It's wonderful. There's always a amazing selection of orchids throughout, and it's very hard to be soft on your pocket. You find such beauties there. So I want to thank the staff. Julian, directly, man, you were so helpful this weekend with me and you were so patient. Thank you so much for helping me out with so many things and for helping me out with my lost orchids. He's actually the one putting them together to send them back with Hayden, who's another staff member, for the Tamiami show. So that's when I'll see my children again. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you. So anyways, guys, I'm going to show you what I got. Some of them don't have tags, unfortunately. I don't know, throughout transportation or something, I lost them. So if I don't remember, as always, I'll put the name underneath. So without further ado, let's go look at my haul. Wait, I can't leave. I gotta take my phone. All right, I don't think I can flip this around, so let me see. I wish they had this function here that I can flip it, but I can't. All right, so we're gonna start here because this was the very first one I got, and it's because thanks to Julian, I had called him before the show, and I told him I was really interested in this fowl, which right when I told him, like 3 days later, I was at my local nursery and they had one very similar, but with a yellow throat. And so this one that he held for me is absolutely beautiful. Look at the details and look at all the freckles. It's got the pink, it's got the red, and it's got the yellow. It's such a beautiful, beautiful orchid. And here, this is a blend. I call them blended. Phalaenopsis Stewartiana Classic crossed with a Phalaenopsis Stewartiana Joy. It's beautiful, and it is a joy to look at. So thank you, Julian, for holding this one for me. It was actually one of my favorite from the haul. I'm very happy with this one. Now, right next to it is this monster right here. Look how big this is. Look how beautiful. Now, this is what they call a cattleya schilleriana. You know how I have the Phalaenopsis schilleriana, which is right above it. It's no longer blooming. Well, this is the cattleya schilleriana, and it is a species. It has a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. And I think these were going for $125. And they already came in the mount. So when I got there, Blanca and Laz had gotten the, of course, the best ones because they were there early. But we had no idea that they had more in the back. And all of a sudden they started bringing some more in the back. And Blanca saw this massive one, and of course she took it, which I'm sure you already saw in her haul. That's why I'm taking the liberty to talk about her haul. And I told her, well, if you're not going to take that one, then of course I'm going to take it. Look how beautiful this is. And I had seen this at Ophi's like a year ago, and I wanted it so bad, but I didn't want to spend $125 on an orchid, nor was I that deep into the collection yet as I am now, where I see the value behind it. So I took it. I said, I'll take that one. If you're not taking it. Laz also has, I believe, has one. So now the Orchid Tears has one. And that's been a problem because now we have to like kind of like piggyback on all our what we buy when we shop together. When we find something really special like this, I piggyback with Blanca, and this was, as you can see, $75, and there weren't that many of this. Here, let me get you the name. There you go, Cattleya tigrina varied Leopoldii Sambar giant. Now, any Leopoldii is absolutely beautiful. Anything mixed with that. So I'm gonna put a picture right here, boop, and you'll see exactly what the flower. It's kind of dark and mysterious and freckled, and I don't know. It just looks absolutely sophisticated and magical. That's the words that come to my mind. So anyway, Blanca saw this, and I think they only had 2 and the sample. And she goes, look at this. And I'm like, oh my God, are you taking one? She goes, yeah, what do you think? And I'm like, well, if you're not taking one, I am. She goes, all right, I'm taking one. So we ended up both taking this. And I'm so happy I did. This was one of those like spur of the moments, like, okay, just take it because you know there's not many. And I'm super happy that I got this one because you know me and freckles, I love them. Now this one is a Brassavola crossed with, man, I'm trying to remember. It didn't have a tag. This was one of the very last orchids that I purchased, and it wasn't even at I believe it was Jordan, one of the staff members. This is from his own stash where you know, all the staff members there, they also grow orchids, and they care for them, they flax them, they do seedlings. It's incredible how all these guys and gals are so into the orchids. They're all very young, so I feel so good when I see like really young people involved in this. And even in the labs you see like young girls already involved, like millennials. I'm like, this is so awesome that the orchid world has such an incredible group coming up. It gives a lot to look forward to. So when I'm old and gray, I can look at these people who will be adults with kids as the pioneers of the new generation of orchid growing. But anyways, I got this from Jordan, and he was so kind. He was looking and looking, and there was a gentleman right across from Blanca that sells these beautiful pots that I'll show you. His name was Gregory Lestrapis, and he creates these beautiful pots and stuff for orchids, and he was the one that had one of these. And when I walked by, I was like, where did you get that amazing orchid? He goes, oh, they just pulled him out as Jordan's. He has more. So he actually was the one that found this one that had more tone and color and held it for me. So thank you, Gregory, so much for doing that. You are so kind. Him and his mother both are like a pot of gold. Really, really, really good and nice people. All right, here is a very special orchid because this orchid was gifted to me by my buddy Laz. And this was for my birthday because even though it was about a week and a half later, we all celebrated kind of my birthday this weekend because it was the only time we had to get together. We've all been so busy. So this is called a Florida Rainbow, but here's the actual cross. It's a Suchiang Krishna crossed with a Foul George Vasquez Cristal. And when you see that FCC AOS, that's what makes this so valuable. So for you guys to know, that means American Orchid Society, FCC. I forgot what the acronym for it is, but I believe it's the awards that it gets or recognitions. So this one is one of Krull-Smith's babies, and they're very popular. So if you guys want these, you can go online and order from them because they run out fast. And when they do, you won't see them for a while. So I highly encourage you to have one of these in your collections because not only is it this beautiful, but the fragrance is unreal. It smells like Fruity Pebbles or Fruit Loops, or it's very similar to another orchid called the Tavivat. It has sort of that same fragrance, which is like a fruit punch kind of smell. But anyways, thank you, Laz, for my birthday gift. And by the way, this wasn't from Krull-Smith, but this is the other one that I was telling you that I ended up getting, but it's different because it's yellow. Anyways, that's a side note. All right, speaking of birthday gifts, I might as well show. I was gonna leave this for last, but I can't. This was such a beautiful gift from Blanca. She gave me this amazing monster piece. That means it's a huge masterpiece. Look how gorgeous this plant is. Now, let me get the tag. We kept on saying that this had her name on it. Hold on, let me see. Blanky, because her name is spelled B-L-A-N-C-A, but this had an E at the end. So I said, oh, we'll just call you Blanky. So it's an Elsie Fire Dance Blanche. I think it's Blanche, right? I don't know. Me and my pronunciation sometimes don't quite fit. But anyway, look at the flower, how gorgeous this is. And it just has this ombre effect of the red, and then it just blends in with this fiery orange yellow. I'm telling you, this for me was like a jaw-dropping orchid. And she surprised me because I had selected it, and then she wanted one too. And she goes, oh, do they have another one that size? And I go, I don't know. I saw this one way in the back, and I didn't even know if it was for sale, and it was. And it even has another cluster there coming out. So she's a heavy bloomer. And towards the very end, she tells me, are you ready to price your things? And I'm like, yeah. And she says, okay, give me the orange one. That's my gift to you for your birthday. So thank you so much, Blanca. I love this flower. You guys, you and Laz were really spoiling me. And then speaking of spoiling me, before I got there, they actually saw this early in the morning, and there was only 3 of these. This is an Encyclia. It's I think it's a species. And yeah, I think Julian said this is a species. And I don't think it's fragrant, but guys, who cares about fragrance when you look like this? Is that not beautiful? When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, thank you for holding this. I would have been so upset if I would have missed out on this. They only had 2 for sale, and this was the actual sample. And I believe Julian sold us the sample for me. So thank you, Julian, again for coming through. I am so in love with this orchid. I could sit here and look at it all day. Tell me what you guys think. I would like to hear your thoughts, because this was one of, like, I don't know, my phone wants to focus on the screen, which is really odd. All right, here. Tell me what you guys think of this orchid. I'm going to put the name underneath, but I don't know if it's just us, all 3 of us, we were speechless. It's just really a beautiful orchid. And this was $95. So for something like that, a species that's so rare and hard to find, 95, man, that is a really good deal. All right, so as I was telling you about Gregory Lestrapes, I think he told me it was French. He owns a company where they create, here, let me pull out my card in my pocket. I had this just to show you guys. This is his card and his information. Check him out on Instagram, or just send him an email and let him know that you heard it on my channel. He'd be happy to hear that. We kind of bonded because him and his mom were across from Blanca. So we had a lot of time to talk, and they took care of our orchids. I mean, wonderful family. And they had these little saucers with air plants in them. And I'm like, oh my God, I've been collecting all these type of saucers. As you can see, I have them all side by side. So I love the variety of different designer handmade, like this is handmade by Josh. I was gonna say Josh Groban. That's a singer. Joshua Jones from the Orchid Den. And I said, oh, this would look so cute next to all of them. So I got this. I think I paid $18. It really was not that expensive. And I put my my new Phalaenopsis Joy something Trick Joy. I always forget the name. You know, I lost the tag. I have to look for the name and retag it. But that's no big deal. I know I have it in another line. And I think she looks so cute there, and she's gonna love it there. That's a good spot for her. So let's move on to these little tiny ones here. Hold on, let me move this big. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna talk about this now. I was gonna leave this. Nah, I'll leave it for last, because I really want to talk about the person who gifted me this, and it's very special. All right, this here is I think they're epidendrums or epicattleyas. No, they're epicattleyas. Polybulbon Golden Gate. Here, hold on. I'll just show you the tag. And I've been after these, both Laz and I, we've been after this for such a long time now. They didn't have any in bloom, but it's okay because I'm gonna put these on mounts. I'm gonna use some cork mount that I have there because they're so tiny. I'm gonna put them in tiny mounts and I'm putting them all together. So when they do bloom, it looks like little stars of flowers. Now, this this gentleman that owns this place, very nice gentleman. Wonderful mom and pop store company, Gold Country Orchids. They're from California, and he's an ex-police officer from Los Angeles, retired. What an incredible, kind man, and so informative and so passionate over orchids. It was very, very kind to talk, very nice to talk to him. And so I decided to buy these three. They were $12 each, which did not break the bank. And then this one, I have to go a little fast because I'm running out of battery. And this is the second time I filmed this, guys. I ran out of battery the first time and I didn't like the way it came out. So if I do run out of battery, I'll just patch this with the next one. So this one's from Ecuajerena. Hold on, because these are all small. So I know my phone does not focus on tiny objects. It's really bad. I already sent a message to Apple. Ecuajerena. And I actually went to their nursery this past weekend from Krull-Smith because they're literally like down the block from them. And the girl who works there, I can't remember her name now, she brought these thinking of us because we wanted these, but she didn't have them. So she brought these the following day on Saturday. And this is a Dinema polybulbon yes, this is a Dinema polybulbon climate worm. That's the name. Sorry. I'm a bit delirious already. Dinema polybulbon, and it's very similar to the other one. It has a wider white lip, I think. But I was like, I'm taking this one too, because I'm putting that one in a nice little mount. And I think I paid like $15 for it. Then this one was from Brethren. And this is another gold nugget, guys. I'm gonna put the photo of this in Encyclia right next to it. This is the gold nugget of gold nuggets. Laz has looked for this high and low and he never found it anywhere. I told him, if you ever find it, you please let me know. He found it at Brethren's. And of course, Brethren's, you know, they have some of the coolest and most rarest orchids that you can find, especially from the Caribbean, like from Cuba and stuff like that, which, by the way, I'm a little upset that they didn't have anything from Cuba at this show. I kept on teasing them. If you watch the other show, I told her, I have a bone to pick with your husband. But anyway, this one is absolutely gorgeous and I can't wait for it to start blooming. Now let's see, before I go on to anything else, because I know I have more. I can't remember. Oh boy. All right, let's take this one and put it back here so I can show you what I wanted to talk about. Okay. Don't swing because then you go out of focus. All right, this orchid right here that you see, it's a prize-winning orchid. This orchid was on my wish list for quite a while. And, sorry, because I always get the name wrong. And it doesn't have a tag, so I wrote it down. Actually, here's a thing. That's Qualidiana. But anyways, I'll put the name underneath, clearer, and I'll show you the flowers. When I had this on my list, and I was on my bucket list, I was gonna say, on my wish list, and I noticed that the price was pretty steep. They run for 200, which I actually thought it wasn't bad because I've seen them for 400, the same size with 1 or 2 spikes. This one has 3, I think 4 spikes. 1, 2, yeah, 4 spikes. So it has 4 spikes. And these bloom in clusters. And this is the Alba. Now, last time I was there, Mr. Frank Smith himself was taking one for judging. And he called me over, he goes, let me show you something really beautiful. So I went over, he had it in his car. And I was, could you sell me that? He goes, absolutely not. And I felt so bad. So this time when I went, I had on my bucket list and I said, if by any chance they have any cuttings or anything, I'm gonna buy it. So I showed Julian, and Julian goes, oh, we have a couple back there in Spike actually. And I go, but they're not for sale, are they? He goes, actually, yeah, we have like 4 or 5. I think they had 4 or 5 already in Spike that you can look at if you're interested. And I go, yeah, but you know, I really want to get a variety of things. If I buy this, then I have to start cutting back on my expenses. And he's like, yeah, I understand. So I already had, like, by then I already had, and this was the first day, I already had like 8 of the orchids that I wanted separated and other plants. And so Frank Smith happens to walk by and he sees us, he sees Laz and me, he goes, oh, how you doing? So happy to see you guys. It's always a pleasure to see you. And we're just chatting and talking. And I go, yeah, we're here with our wish list. And he goes, oh, you come with a wish list? And I go, of course, if not, we won't remember. And I start showing him and I go, but you know what? There's some on the wish list. I'm actually going to wait till November because I just can't. I'm giving all this stuff to myself for my birthday. But I can't go overboard. And I go, and my haul already is overboard. He starts laughing. He goes, well, what do you consider overboard? He goes, where's your haul? And I go, look, right at that table. And he goes, listen, talk to Julian and tell him that I'm giving you that orchid as a gift. And I'm like, are you serious? So he actually gave me this as my birthday gift, an appreciation gift. So thank you, Frank Smith, so much for this gift. I was absolutely not expecting this at all. As a matter of fact, I was a little embarrassed because, you know, I don't know, I just get silly that way when people do things like that. I'm very appreciative, but I get a little embarrassed. And I just want to say that you really made my day. Between you, Blanca, and Laz and Julian, the 4 of you created such an amazing environment and energy for this whole weekend that I appreciate it so much. I can't wait for the next show. I really can't. So guys, that is what I have in here. I have to look and see because I always forget something and I have to go back. So, and I'm not apologizing for it going any longer. A lot of you guys over there, viewers of mine, the first thing you said is, stop apologizing for your length. We want you to go a little bit longer. I'm like, this is crazy. Honestly, I thought people would get bored, you know, of the same thing over, but you know, I guess it's entertaining. Orchids are fun, you know. I don't get bored, you know. I could watch Blanca's videos for super long and I don't get bored. So here's a non-orchid purchase, which is the pitcher plants that they had right when you walked in. It was the first thing I covered on the show, which, by the way, if you guys are just tuning in this haul, if you want to see where it comes from, on my previous video, the Krull-Smith Spring Fair, that's where you'll see all these in its glory, and you can see different varieties because this was just one of the varieties. They had some that were really like blood red. They had some that were red and green. They were some that were I love this because it had a little bit of everything. And I honestly wanted the red one as well, but you know, I've never had these. I'm just starting to see how well they do here. As you can see, they're in sphagnum moss, and in here there's distilled water, not distilled water, RO water. Well, I think that's the same thing. But RO water, and I do have RO water at home, so if you do have an RO water RO machine, you can keep these. If not, you'd be buying that. You can go to Publix or any supermarket and just get RO water and have it handy, because they do like to have a dish. Like inside, I'm not gonna pull this out because it's kind of jammed in there, but let me see if you can kind of see it. Let me see. No, you can't see it. Inside, it has about ½ an inch of water. So that way it sucks up the moisture. But by all means, do not use any other kind of water because you will kill them. Unless you have them outdoors, like you can put them outside. I may end up acclimating them to the sun. In here, as you can see, it's under my plastic, what do you call this, corrugated ceiling that kind of diffuses the sun. Even though it's super bright in here, it's not, like, it looks like the sun is hitting it, but it's not really burning it. So this is a perfect condition for Hoyas and other types of hanging plants, like this new one here. I also got this Hoya. I don't remember the gentleman's, oh man, I had his card and I don't know what I did with it, but anyway, I got it at his nursery, nursery. Oh, Oh, we're doing good today, Dell. You're doing really good. I got it at his, I was gonna say vendor booth. I guess that's correct. At the vendor booth, and I paid 45 for this. And I've always wanted this Hoya because I love that it's very veiny and firm. It's not one of those like flimsy leaves, but look at the edging. It has like a little pink lining around it. Now I have this one, but this is not. See, that looks very similar, but it doesn't have the pink lining. This has the pink lining. And if it's anything like this one, the bloom is absolutely beautiful. It's like a blood red, and it smells really, really, really sweet. Well, not sweet. It smells more like no, it's kind of sweet. But anyways, this is what I got. I got this Hoya, and I got that beauty over there that I'm so in love with it. So in love with you. Yeah, I just heard in my head, yes, you're so in love. Why'd you leave your other kids on the in Apopka? I feel so bad for that. Honestly, it was so overwhelming, guys, when we were there. Even Blanca was telling me that it was so hot. It was so humid. We had been there all day. It was a total of 10 hours. We were all there both days. So by the time Saturday came and we were leaving, that's why I just wanted to go and take a bath and eat something, and we were hangry, and even though we contained ourselves professionally, but we all were very hungry, so we just wanted to get out of there and finally just freshen up. So those things happen. So anyways, and by the way, I wanted to stress out to you guys, if you always see this, I have multiple of these. Isn't this like a massive lighter? I get these at the flea market. It is so important to have these because when you cut, you always want to sterilize, and you don't always have alcohol or peroxide or anything lying around. So you want to grab your, which by the way, these are about to go out the door. I've had them forever and they're so rusted. But have yourself always lighters in your tool house or in your workstation if you have orchids and you're cutting roots and things like that. Make it a habit, because that way you will never transfer anything. I have never transferred. Since I started doing that, I used to transfer stuff to my orchids all the time because I didn't know. But after I started doing that, I got to tell you, it really stopped. All right, guys, I think that is it. I almost feel like I know I'm forgetting something, so I'll just give you a nice little view of my greenhouse to see if I can find anything that I'm leaving behind, because when I do that, I get so upset. Man, no, I think I got everything. Can you check out this beauty? This is, I showcase her in a couple of what's in bloom, but this, look at that, 4, she's just starting to open. Amazing. All right, I think that is it. Let me turn this around. I can't think of anything. Oops. Well, guys, I knew I was gonna forget something. These are these 2 Schomburgkias. These are the, oh my God, I had the name right on the tip of my tongue right now and I just slipped off my mind. Well, I'll put it underneath. But anyways, these are beautiful. It's I believe it's a species, I think I was told. And they were $35 and they were already in spike. So I ended up getting 2. Here's the other one. See if I remember where I put it. It's up here. See the 3 big spikes? And these they brought out and they went just as fast. Because for $35 a Schomburgkia, that's an amazing deal. And look at the size of this. Look how big this is. And then with all these spikes. So I'll put the photo. I'm starting to take the tags out because I, like Blanca, leave the tags as well. As if I'm opening a store. So anyways, those are the only 2 that I can remember. Maybe I'll remember some more, but yeah, I got those 2 big Schomburgkias and I can't wait for them to bloom. We're gonna have so much this season on What's in Bloom. And back here, I gotta tell you, all this here, I'm seeing spikes coming out on a lot of these. So stay tuned for more What's in Bloom. All right, let's close this channel. All right, guys, as you can see, completely different setting, different time, different outfit. It's been a challenging day. Everything I did, I had to do it over 3 or 4 times. And at the very, very end, everything I recorded came out like with a weird static. So I'm trying this for the 3rd time to see if I get through there. Okay, so that's why you're seeing, this is in my terrace actually. That's why you hear crickets. I figure at this time it would probably work better. So anyways, I want to thank you all who actually came up to me and said hello at the show. I met a lot of great people. I wish I could remember all your names, but I'm so bad like remembering names, and when I'm in a setting like that, my mind is just going crazy. So you guys know who you are. You're wonderful. I met so many of you. I ask you to please, if you're watching this video, send me a hello. I want to see what your name is. I want to keep it fresh in my mind. Because I really do care. And when you guys say hello, I do want to remember your name, and I want to remember the stories you tell me. The stories I remember. Now the name for me, I don't know, it's really hard. So anyways, thank you guys. Thanks the staff at Krull-Smith, Blanca, Laz, everybody who played a great part of this wonderful weekend of orchids and shopping and learning, and a lot of mind-blowing educational tips that I got, which I'm going to share with you guys in the future. But not now because I'm too tired. But anyways, and by the way, I've had this ring light for, I guess, a year since I started the video. This is the first time I actually used it. I've never used it because I always do my stuff outdoor. I was like, I bought this ring light and I don't even know if I'm going to use it, but it came in use. So anyways, I am very happy to say that my orchids, that I will be going to the Miami Orchid Show. That is the next show that's coming up. It's in May. I'll put a little, as I always do, an inset. It is in May, I believe is 14, 15, and 16. And I will be seeing my children there because I spoke to Julian later today, and it ends up that it wasn't just 3 of those orchids. There's like 5 orchids I left behind. It's so embarrassing, but anyway, and he even sent me a picture with them all sitting there, and I'm like, I'm such a horrible parent. But anyways, it happens, you know? What can we do? Moving forward. Anyways, thank you for sticking around this long. I hope you loved this haul. I am Nelson. You are watching Nature Nell, and remember to always keep it green. See you next time.